Hello everybody! Today I am going to be doing a video about a Dell Optiplex GX150. This is a ultra small form factor computer as opposed to a small form factor computer like the GX280 or the 260. This computer is a Pentium 3 and would have originally run Windows 98. But that's not what's installed on it right now. What's installed on it right now is Windows XP. Now, if we take a look at the front panel, we have a disk indicator LED. The original disk was dead in this, with bad bearings and clicking of death. It was a Maxter. I assume it died of old age and not of incompetence, because it wouldn't have been thrown away just yet if that was the case. It would have been thrown away long ago, I bet. As opposed to other Dell small form factor cases, the front thingamajiggy, whatever you call it, does not flip up. Instead, it opts for the exposed headphone jack and USB ports, which I actually kind of like better because having the USB ports at an angle really is kind of irritating to deal with, especially if you have large USB drives. The CD drive is one you would find in a laptop. It has a tray that pops out like a normal laptop would. Space saving measure. This has a floppy drive, and it looks like, I think this is a slim type floppy drive. So it's a real computer. Now I'm going to pop it open real quick. Okay, so I got the case open, finally. And as you can see, it's very proprietary. Very, very proprietary. But I guess you can't really expect anything else out of a computer like this, so I don't really hark on Dell for that. The heatsink is right here. It's a rather small heatsink that I've cleaned before. Not the fan though, it's way too hard. It does not blow air out of the case, which is a problem almost, because then where does the heat go? Besides going through the power supply, which could feasibly be blocked by expansion cards. It's really not in this case, but it's kind of a silly decision there, Dell. Should have cooled it better. The VRM is on the side. I think that's what that is. It's kind of old, so it's got that. None of the capacitors are bulging that I can see, so that's a good thing. That means I don't have to replace any capacitors. I don't know what the RAM config is, so I'll pop out the RAM. Okay, so that right there, it's legit Dell memory, 128 megabytes of SD RAM. That is another 128 gigs, right, of SD RAM, 100 megahertz. That's not Dell Genuine RAM, which tells me that this was an upgrade. The CR2032 battery still works, to the best of my knowledge. I think I have that RAM in there. There we go. Now I have it in there. Okay, the power supply. It is a Dell NPS 100BBA. It's 85 watts. It's not a very powerful power supply, but holy crap did they manage to fit it into a small space. The hard drive is here. It is a Maxter hard drive. It is a replacement. It is a D740X-6L, I think 40 or 80 gigs. It's actually 20 gigs. My bad. The floppy drive is in fact a slim type floppy drive, as you can see here. They use this weird looking ribbon cable. The CD drive is up here and uses a small 4-pin Molex that you would typically see powering a floppy drive, which is an interesting choice. There's not much room for expansion, which is kind of to be expected considering the power supply is 85 watts. The only really expansion anything you can do in this is a singular AGP card, and in this case it's populated by a video RAM extension, I think. That would appear that's what it is. Yeah, and as you can see, it's 4 megabytes of video RAM. Okay, and the other expansion card is a USB 1.0 card with three on the outside USB ports and 1 on the inside. So, I'm going to close this up and I'll power it up. It occurred to me before I started to hook everything up and such that I did not show the back, so I must show the back. On the back, you can see that there are ventilation holes, tons of them, a Kensington lock, parallel printer, 2 serial, PS2 keyboard and mouse, lights to indicate post status, 10 base T or 100 base T Ethernet port, 2 USB 2.0 ports, VGA, left and right speaker, microphone in, 3 USB ports on an expansion card, USB 1.0, the power supply, which is not auto switching. Okay, so the power is hooked up and everything, so pressing the button. As you can see, it's a Dell GX150. Takes a couple of seconds to post, but I'm alright with that. Start it up into Windows XP. Give that just a second to start up. Okay, so here we are started up about 30 seconds later. So it's not the fastest computer in the world, but it's a Pentium 3 with all of 256 megabytes of RAM. It's not going to be the fastest by default. It's going to take a minute for the mouse to get detected because it's Windows XP. No, we're not ready yet. And this is a fresh install, fresh-ish install of Windows XP. I did it a while ago, but, you know. Aha, we're good. Alright, so now I'm going to go into Device Manager because it's how we roll here. Okay, and here we are. See all the devices. Look at the disk drive. It's a Maxter 6L020J1, which is different from what's on the cover. Maxter model numbers are weird. The processor is an Intel Pentium 3 processor. I don't know what the clock speed is. Don't ask me. Go look in the BIOS in a minute. See it? Yeah, it's single core Pentium 3, as all of them are. So, nothing interesting to show here, so I'm going to reboot into the BIOS. And I'll show you what the processor is. Show you what the processor is, and then we'll be done. Oh, it's right there. Alright. Pentium 3, 1 gigahertz. That's really all there is to show. Well, I can show the memory information. 256 megabytes of SD RAM. Only, oh, okay, so that's a cache stick. That's not actually memory. So it's got 4 megabytes of cache and 1 megabyte of actual video RAM. That's about it. So I thank you for watching. I invite you to join me next time I make a video. So see you then, people.